You are watching America Trends. I'm Mary Burt-Godwin, and I am chatting it up with Mr. Shep Hyken. He is a Chief Amazement Officer. Always love that title. Customer service and a customer experience expert. And I will tell you that this can make or break a business, how well you are greeted, whether you're going to a restaurant or a business or if it's online, what the interface is like. And you know, Shep, before the break, we were talking about this customer service pipeline. I forget what, customer journey, right? You know, all the different touch points that a guest or a customer might have along the way of purchasing a product or going to a restaurant. And you know, there's different rules that you can have in place as a business owner, like, oh, you know, if something happens, we're going to refund your money this quickly, right? Amazon, you were talking about, has a lot of those rules in place. And then there's also the aspect of personality and how you are greeted and how you maybe a complaint is accepted. Can you talk a little bit about that and how you address that with your clients?
Sure. There's a lot of questions within that one question.
I know. Do them all. Tackle them all.
All right. So let's go back to that original concept, the journey. Map it out. Look at all the touch points, the interaction points that your customers have with any aspect of doing business. It could be the first time somebody sees you or decides to do business with you. And I want you to go all the way back to where they don't even know about you, that they're doing a Google search or some other search, and they happen to find 3 or 4 different websites and they end up on your website. What's that interaction like? They decide, oh, I've got a question. How easy is it to ask a question? Is there a chat box that pops up that's either a chat bot, which is an artificial intelligent infused experience, which could be very, very good. Is it a live chat with an agent? Is there a phone number for you to call and talk to somebody? You know, you go to Zappos.com to buy merchandise and you've got a question. Are these shoes, are they true to size? And you call and you ask a question. By the way, close to 20% of the customers that do business on Zappos, at least this is it's fairly recent stat. Even though they're an online company, 20% of them call to get asked or to ask a question. Mm-hmm. And what Zappos does is say, hey, they run a little large. So why don't we send you 2 or 3 different sizes, try the one on you like, and we'll include all the return labels and information so you can send back the 2 shoes that you don't like or don't fit properly with no extra charge. Anyway, all of these are part of the interaction points. And you want to manage, if it's live, you want to manage how is that greeting. You want to create consistency. If you're answering the phone, is it consistent from person to person, from location to location, if you have multiple locations? So look at all these touch points, analyze them, and determine, are you getting the most out of each one? You mentioned complaints. I mean, and I know before the break, you talked about the thank yous. And by the way, 5 ways to say thank you. I know I wrote an article on that. I looked it up. I have them in front of me.
Okay, good. We can talk about all those. Good.
Yeah. Do you want to go with the complaints, though? I think this is a real important one.
I do, for sure. Yeah.
All right. So in a complaint, you're not trying to win the argument. You're trying to win the customer. Always remember that. And there's this question that I always ask everybody to think of in their minds, regardless of whether it's complaint or even the best of times and the interactions you have, is what I'm doing right now going to get that customer to come back the next time they want to do business with us? And if it's a complaint, well, by golly, we better be handling it the right way. So 5 quick, simple steps. Number 1, acknowledge the complaint and apologize for whatever the issue is, even if it's not your fault. Yeah. I'm sorry that happened. And you can do one or the other in either order. So that's 1 and 2. Number 3, this is what we're going to do to fix it. Discuss the resolution. Number 4, take ownership of it. Don't say, hey, I was out of town last week when you had this issue, so what are you yelling at me for? Yeah. No, you've got to act like you own the situation. And
Absolutely.
Number 5, act with urgency and speed and get it done quickly.
I love all of those things that you just mentioned because it is, you know, sometimes I feel like people get defensive and it's like, I know that it's not your fault as you are the manager, but you're still the manager and we still need to know that you care about my business and that you care to follow through. And we had somebody on who is a business owner in San Diego, and he used to run a big agency or a big sports arena. And he talked about a band that didn't go on till midnight or 1 a.m. And he said he had 65 voicemails the next day of people complaining, and he called back every single person and did exactly what you just said and apologized. He can't control the band, you know. Right. Guns N' Roses is going to show up when Guns N' Roses wants to show up. But
was that who it was?
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm supposed to tell that story, but yeah.
Well, I've got a great story. You know, I guess their lead singer did something in St. Louis at a concert, and basically, what did he incited a riot at the venue, and he got arrested. So when you see the lead singer Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses, you will see he's standing there. He has a publicity photo. Yeah, a mugshot, and that was in St. Louis.
Well, here in San Diego, our guy had to call 65 mad fans, but he did that, and it just reminded me of what you said, because he did those things, apologized.
Yep.
He acknowledged that they were angry. He's like, I can't necessarily control it. However, here's what we're gonna do, and I'm sure he couldn't refund tickets. However, he can, just the fact that he called, and he did it the very next day within 24 hours.
Speed, urgency. That's very important.
I do absolutely believe that even, you can't refund everyone's money necessarily, but just making them feel heard and not being defensive, I think, is such a good tip there.
Yeah, you don't always have to give away anything for free. A lot of times it's simply the attitude that you have in expressing the concern that makes that customer, as you say, feel like they've been heard, and also that their business is appreciated.
I think this is good relationship advice too, Shep, or any relationship. It's like making somebody, whether it's your kids or your, significant other or whatever, I think, making them feel heard and saying, okay, I'm sorry that happened to you, and let's, figure it out. But anyway, let's talk about the thank yous. Can you give us those tips, 5 ways to say thank you to your customers? I like this topic.
And by the way, if I treated my wife like my best customer, and I think I treat her better than that, but just for anybody out there, partner, significant other, spouse, if you treat them like a great customer, they're going to want to come back again and again.
Amen. Amen to that. I love it. Okay.
All right. So 5 quick, I'm going to give them to you quickly. And if we have time, I'll break down any one of them. But number 1, the simple thank you note, very, very powerful. And maybe it's not just a note. It could be an email. It could be a text, but it's some type of written correspondence or typed correspondence. But the old fashioned thank you note, amazing. Number 2, a thank you video. I use a program called BombBomb, which allows me to take my phone, do a quick video, and send it to whomever. And a lot of times, if I finish a speaking engagement, I'll shoot a quick video in the car on the way to the airport. They see I'm driving away from the hotel, and it says, hey, I'm just leaving. I just wanted to thank you. What's cool about that, by the way, is you don't send the video, you send a link to the video. So it doesn't take any time for them to download your message, but it shows a video. Very powerful.
Cool.
You can create or give a charitable contribution if you know somebody has a cause or something special that's important. Even a small donation shows that you were thinking of them. A thoughtful gift, and what I mean by that is don't send like an Amazon gift card. Send something that really means something to someone. I have a good friend of mine who sent his client a signed baseball by one of his favorite players who wasn't that famous. So the baseball cost like $20, and this client put that baseball on the shelf in his office.
Wow.
And you know what? You don't have to put a logo of your company on there. Every time the guy looked at the baseball, he knew where it came from.
Right.
And finally, if it's customers and you want to do a big event, have a group appreciation event and show your customers, hey, let's have a good time. We really appreciate you.
I like people showing appreciation. I think that's a great tip and a great way to end the segment. Shep Hyken, thank you so much for joining us again. Hyken.com, HYKEN.com, Chief Amazement Officer. And he truly is an expert in customer service. We love having him on the show. And we've got more America Trends after this break. But in the meantime, you can check us out on social media at America Trends TV on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We'll be right back.